For today's lesson, we talked about how to generate equivalent fractions. So yesterday we kind of dove into the idea of what an equivalent fraction was. We found out how to decide whether or not the fractions were equivalent. But today they worked on actually creating their own equivalent fractions. So it's actually super easy. They shouldn't have much trouble tonight at all. All they need to do is they need to pick a number that's bigger than 1, and they need to multiply the numerator and the denominator by that number. For example, to find an equivalent fraction for 4/5, they can multiply 4 by 2 and 5 by 2. Voila, equivalent fraction. Now, most of the time it's going to ask them to provide more than one equivalent fraction, so then super easy. Let's multiply times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. 5 times 3 is 15. Another equivalent fraction. Truly remarkable. So in class today, we went through drawing the models and making sure that our equivalent fractions that we created actually were in fact equivalent fractions. But based on what we did in the video yesterday, I'm confident that you guys don't need me to show you that. And I mean, that's basically it for this lesson. There will be a part on the homework where it has, like it did yesterday, it'll have two fractions. Let's say it has 4/5 and 6/10, and it has a circle here, and you need to tell if these are equivalent or not equivalent. So they just need to think to themselves, is there something I can multiply 4 and 5 by the same number to get these numbers? Well, I know 5 times 2 is 10, but is 4 times 2 6? No, 4 times 2 is 8, so this would not be equivalent. But if I had 5/6 and 10/12, I know 5 times 2 is 10, and I know 6 times 2 is 12, so this would be equal. So they basically just need to find if they can multiply these two, the numerator and the denominator, by one number and get these things, then it is an equivalent fraction. They can also, of course, draw a model like they did yesterday for their homework if that's what is helpful to them, but I really am interested in them being able to visualize this in their heads without actually having to draw a model, because it should be easy for them to know if this number is going to be a multiple of this number, and if that multiple is going to be multiplied by the same counting number. So that's really it for this lesson, everyone. As always, let me know if you have any questions, but I think that so far we're doing pretty well in this chapter. All right, have a good night.